Oh, there's that clip.
I had to because it's just like, we're gonna get it to work. I'm gonna have to just learn how to snip a little bit in between, but don't worry, Lauren. I'm coming back to
I think the whole audience is worried.
It's just, what do I do? I was just trying to get some height. Okay, you're right. This is becoming a pod about bangs.
Right. Bang, bang.
I love that.
Bang, Nancy
I
Sinatra.
know. I love that you know that because that is such a good song. Okay.
Yeah.
What?
And Vreeland has a great version. Shout out, Caroline. We're ready for you on the pod.
Ooh, I would love to hear that. Okay.
Think her boobs would fit in the window? I don't know.
Well, if mine do,
That's true. You have
you
pretty
know?
big boobs. I'm playing basketball.
You know what? What are you gonna do? I would love to talk to her about it.
Hers are all natural. Wow. So are yours.
Sound like mine weren't.
And she's a mama too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
We're feeling good.
I know. It sounds like Danny Zuko from Grease.
Right. I never saw Grease. Go Grease Lightning. Is that even from it?
Yeah, but not quite.
And that's
like
why I
that.
didn't see it. Yeah.
No, it's actually really good.
hmm
John Travolta.
I don't get it. Tell me not to buy another comic strip.
I honestly like
I
your
know.
selection.
I was out on the Cappy Geisip one yesterday. This Cappy one is really cool. It's about shoulder pads throughout the years.
What would be the market for the cartoons and these prints?
These are the original
Oh,
comic
they're
strips.
the original.
These are hand drawn.
Who's like top of the list?
There's two that are the most desirable. Charles Schultz's Peanuts.
Okay,
Those range about 25 to 30 a strip.
okay.
And then Bill Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes. They don't have a lot in circulation because he actually donated maybe 95% of his strips to the Billy Ireland Museum in Ohio, which is on my list of to do.
Oh, in Ohio?
Yeah, I would like to go with you and make that trip.
Wow.
And for Bill Watterson fans, a few hours away, there's a city. It's called Falls, and that's where he drew the strip. It's all nature. It's the autumn leaves, and there's brooks and ponds, and it's cool. We send an email. Can you please pull these 5 strips from the archives? And we get to see them with put on gloves.
Oh, that would be great.
I have your drawing still. Yeah, I need to give that to you.
Which one is this?
One I made of you as a cartoon.
Yes, that's my profile picture you're talking about. I want to put it up. Yeah, I think it's New York. Oh.
All right. You need to commit to the bit and not touch your hair again. Okay?
Oh, God. I don't. Then I have to snip it.
No man wants to hear they have to snip it.
Snip, snip. Okay, here's the thing. I went to bed last night at 10 p.m. I'm not an early bed person. I woke up at 2. I woke up at 2. JJ, right on time.
Too early?
No, this is
No,
perfect.
chef, you are not.
All right, we're like back to back.
Where does this podcast find you?
It finds me in my apartment in New York City.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's ready.
All right. Welcome back to Hustle and Schmear. I'm Liz Cohen.
I'm Jason Salstein.
Today we're sitting down with a chef who's redefining fast casual, one grain of rice at a time. He's a James Beard Award winner, Forbes 30 Under 30 alum, and the force behind New York's Rice Bowl Shop field trip, where rice isn't just on the side, it is the story. FYI, I've known him since our early hustle days in the city.
He went from culinary school to cooking at the White House and is the flavor architect behind 2 best-selling cookbooks, Between Harlem and Heaven and The Simple Art of Rice. Is it really that simple? His mission, global flavor with neighborhood soul.
When he's not running restaurants, he's on HBO cooking with Selena Gomez, mentoring the next generation, or holding it down at home as super dad. Today we're talking food, culture, building an empire, and why rice is not just a side dish.
From oxtail to octopus, cookbooks to community, Chef JJ always brings the heat.
Please welcome the man, the myth, the marinade, my friend Joe, Chef JJ Johnson. Welcome.
What's up, Liz?
Thanks for coming on.
Now, I watch you guys. I was like, oh, wow, Liz got a podcast? What's this about? I started tuning in, and I I like the magic you guys have been, the magic you've been producing.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, thank you. Liz is like an onion. We're peeling layers and we're finding out new stuff about her. Which we're
Right?
gonna ask if you like red onion versus sweet onion. There's a lot of
We're gonna
onions.
get into it, but
All right.
first, I want to. Before anything, we start with a little coffee. I need JJ. Are you drinking coffee in the morning? What's your coffee order? What are you doing to get going?
You
'Cause
know,
you're up early.
I don't like coffee. I do take a shot of espresso before I work out as my pre-workout because it's clean. I hold my nose. I shoot it back.
You really don't like the taste?
I like to cook with coffee. I don't like the bitterness of coffee.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It's not my thing, and I'm able to keep the energy up during the day without it. If you ever do
Right.
see like, if you ever see me like drinking espresso in the middle of the day, you know, oh, this guy's at a real low right now, and he really will pick me up.
Well, you're up. I see you working out. He's getting into the work, but he's working out. I'm like, I don't
What's your wake up call for the workout?
My dog.
How early are we doing it?
If you know if it was up to me, I would be out in the gym at like 5:30 in the morning. I would try to do it before everybody started in the world, and then I would come back and start my day. But I drop my kids off at camp or at school, and then I hit the gym around 9:30. I really only do an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know how people do 2.5 hours in the
No,
gym.
my
But
God.
hour and 15 minutes. I'm into strength training, and
Yeah.
I'm addicted to the stairs. I lost a lot of weight on the stairs.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they say. Stairs is really one
Yeah.
of the best cardio. Where are you originally from, and what was your childhood like?
I was born in Long Island. My mom's from Long Island. My dad's from Harlem. My grandfather sold his house in like 89 because the taxes were too high, and everybody moved to the Poconos. So I grew up in the Poconos. The streets were still dirt roads. I used to walk to the bus stop. We all lived right around the corner from each other. And I watched the Poconos really transform through moments in New York City. A lot of people moved to the Poconos from New York City or from Philadelphia. And I grew up around that, I don't know if you're a New Yorker, Jason, but around that.
Well, I'm born and raised in Miami, but my parents are from Brooklyn. I'm a New Yorker at heart.
You might know
My
this. Your
second.
parents definitely know this famous resort called Mount Airy Lodge, which has a
Heard.
commercial on television.
Yeah.
My high school is right down the block from there.
Oh, get out. This is where everyone goes to. I always think of it as vacationing, but to live there full time must be fun. It must have been very close-knit neighborhoody vibes.
Yeah, you know, it was very close to that neighborhood. I mean, both of my next door neighbors growing up were, one was from Philadelphia, would come up on the weekends. The other one was from New York City. My dad knew everybody on our street, everybody around the corner. He
Right.
knocked on people's doors if they were moving in and greeted them with a type of like a pie, but it wasn't a pie. Because you want to know who you live next to.
Right.
But yeah, my childhood was riding four-wheelers. Everybody played basketball in front of my house. It was always 3-on-3. You would sit on the big rock and we would play until my mom told everybody they had to leave. And it was great. It definitely gave me a balance of growing up in Pennsylvania and then coming to the city to see family. I got to see these two different worlds of what potentially America is and how people think, and how they move. But yeah, I love the Poconos. I wouldn't change it at all.
And where was your mom and dad from originally?
Harlem, 35th, 5th Street. My mom's from Long Island, from Wyandanch, Babylon, Amityville.
What about their parents?
My mom's father's
Oh,
from Barbados. They came through Ellis Island, and he was in World War II. My grandmother, my mom's mother's Puerto Rican, and then my dad is African American, family from the American South. Grandmother came to New York on a church bus from North Carolina back at 16. My grandfather was from Mississippi. Should have wound up in Detroit, but wound up in Harlem somehow.
And was food a big thing?
Yeah, I grew up in my Puerto Rican grandmother's kitchen when we grew. You know, the Poconos wasn't really known for restaurants at that time. So my grandmother's kitchen was the restaurant. We would all gather there and eat. And living in that house was my grandmother and then my two great aunts who were sous chefs. So the three of them would cook all day long. And as a kid, I was around that. I would be on a step stool trying to peel onions and carrots with them. I would be trying to set the table. They made cooking for me look really fun, right? That's why I really love cooking. They put it into my DNA. And then when I would come to New York, my grandmother was a great baker, and that kid would stick my finger in the middle of the cherry pie and try to pull out the cherries.
I'm sure they love that.
They did not love that.
Is that kind of what got you hooked to cooking? Like, or did that happen later
I
on?
was 7 years old when I said I wanted to be a chef.
Oh,
My
wow.
parents-
That early.
Super early. I saw a commercial for the Culinary Institute of America. I told my parents I was going to go to this school. My parents kind of chuckled and laughed. But when I look
Really?
back, everybody really embraced me to a certain extent. Like, oh, you want to be a chef? My Uncle Donald owned the crab boat. Oh, you want to be a chef? You need to eat raw clams, or you need to know what this tastes like. Or let's go to this restaurant. I remember eating escargot really young and somebody telling me it was chicken. But they really embraced becoming to Queens to the cookouts. I would be there by the grill looking at who was cooking. What did it taste like? I wasn't the best eater as a kid, though. I was a terrible eater,
Picky?
very picky. My grandfather, who I was very close with, used to tell me, you should be lucky we have food on the table and a roof over our head, right? Very old school in that method.
Did you recognize at that moment that like you were developing a palate or taste buds that maybe younger kids were not used to and they're just eating cheeseburgers and hot dogs?
My mom's house was American cooking household, a working mom that had to work, come home and cook. She was making rice out of a box. She had her 6 meals a week on a calendar. It was the same thing every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday. And then you would go to my grandmother's house and it would be very robust food paella in the middle of the table, her own chicken broth simmering for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So it was
But
very
that takes so
different.
much time.
Yes.
When you're a working mom, the fact that you even had food that wasn't coming out of like a microwave.
This is the beef me and my mom have because I clown the stuff that she cooked as a kid. But as a parent, I understand why she was very, very organized when it came to cooking. It's like, I got to make sure my family has food. And these are the things I know how to cook. And I know I can make these in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity to, grow up in a disciplined household as well as get that exploration of taste buds where you are at today, kind of hustler based on the food. So it's like true product of growing up.
Yeah, so your mom gets cred. Your mom gets cred too.
My mom gets a lot of credit. But no, my mom is a big backbone of the family, and without her, we wouldn't be where we are, me and my sister. Both my parents are very much of a union of a great support system.
And as you're dabbling in the kitchen with your grandma and your great aunts, do you remember the first dish that you actually made that was a hit, or your first memory of making food, serving them as opposed to them serving you?
So I never got a chance to serve my grandmother passed away when I was about 8 years old. My great aunts, one had to move to Colorado. But the first meal I ever cooked, Jason, everybody was allowed to pick whatever they wanted for their birthday and pick whoever they wanted to cook for them. So my Aunt Lisa was like, oh, you think you want to be a chef? Make me lasagna. So I was in the kitchen making lasagna, have it in the oven, and I think I'm over 13 years old. My mom is frantic, think I'm going to burn the whole place down. And I burned the whole lasagna, like the whole thing, smoking out the oven, terrible. Aunt Lisa's laughing hysterically. Everybody's like, what are we going to eat? She's like, what did you guys think was going to happen?
You weren't discouraged.
No,
at least.
I wasn't discouraged. My family definitely built me up to have tough skin.
When was the moment where you realized, okay, I want to explore culinary?
My first job was a dishwasher at a country club. I rode my bike to Pocono Farms Country Club.
Okay.
The chefs were horrific. Like all the things you read about or think, well, that happened in a restaurant. This was happening at this restaurant. It's the only place I ever got fired from in my whole career. I never was fired from anywhere else. And I remember telling the two chefs, I remember their name, Frank and Billy, that I will be better than you guys one day. I will not be you.
Okay. Did you ever go back and you're like, hey?
I never went back. I don't.
They see him on TV. They see him on Hustle and Schmear. They know what's up.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Billy.
I know, Chef JJ, success is the best revenge.
I think it is, but there was a guy there, his name was Joe. He had a catering company. I started working with him, and he really mentored me earlier on in my days, learning the grit and the grind of this isn't easy work. You got to set up this event. You got to break it down. You got to bring in the food. You got to get refrigerated trucks. You have to do all this stuff. I really thought I was going to go into the catering business early on in my career. But then I go off to culinary school at Culinary Institute of America, and I wound up being the worst person in my class. I was the worst person in my class.
Meaning what? Like
what made you the worst?
Like my knife cuts were terrible.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't do anything that the experience of most kids coming into Culinary Institute of America was at a really high level because they were working in real kitchens. If there was one thing I would do differently, I would have went to work the best kitchen in the Poconos, right?
Yeah. But I wonder if that just made you work harder. Also, just because your knife skills are amazing doesn't mean then you're going to build a business. And I just wonder if that skill set, the combination of the skill set is why you're here versus your mise en place.
I always wanted to build a business. I mean, I asked my parents to refinance their home to open up to open up a Cold Stone Creamery franchisee in the Poconos, like right across from the carnival. I was like, yo, this is going to be
Oh,
an
wow.
amazing spot. Funny enough, I inquired about it. I had all the paperwork. I knew what it took to open a franchisee. I needed to get the money. And
Oh,
I'm in culinary school and I come back and I see a creamery at the location I put it into. It's still there 15 years later. But trying to get your
yeah.
parents to refine. So I always had the entrepreneurial spirit when I look back. The culinary spirit from what Jason was saying is like I knew what flavor was supposed to taste like. I knew what food was supposed to be, but maybe the technical skills I was a little bit behind in that.
Yeah, but as we all know, technical you can learn. It's that other fire, that
Yeah.
other
It's
chutzpah you
really,
can
yeah,
never play.
exactly. Talking about your hustle, I remember your hustle, Jade, when I met you back in the day. I think you were a chef at Morgan Stanley,
Morgan
I
Stanley,
think.
yeah, Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley, but also I was telling Jason earlier, we came up with, remember 9 to 5 entertainment? We were trying to do promotions at parties. We were very much in hustle mode. Then you
Entertainment. I forgot about the
remember.
name of the business.
Oh, I remember it. We
Oh,
didn't do it for that long. We found a place by Union. I don't even
It
remember.
was Union Square, like right off. It was like a
And we
failing
got a lot of people to
nightclub,
come.
and we had a lot of
We
people.
were there early. We were hustling. We
Yeah.
had somebody else who wasn't, you knew. I'm like, all right, this guy, he works hard.
I was on the 41st floor, 1585 Broadway, Morgan Stanley, cooking for all the MDs, the CEO. It was a very interesting experience. That was the first financial crash. So that was like
2008.
2008. I was like at the tail end of that, going into Morgan Stanley. Restaurants were starting to close again because they couldn't make it out. A recruiter was like, hey, you should look at this. And I was like, I don't want to work in a cafeteria. It's like, it's not a cafeteria. And I remember
Yeah,
going on
this
my
is like,
interview, getting in the elevator, going up to the 41st floor and seeing this kitchen, beautiful stainless steel kitchen. And the dining room overlooks 48th and Broadway. And the chef, being Zach Friedman, was from Chantrell. And I was like, hold on, the chef is from Chantrell?
yeah, like this is
So
a big deal.
yeah, I did a tasting. He hired me, and I learned a lot about how food in corporate America is second. People take meetings, they get all this food, it's beautiful, but you might leave a meeting and nobody ate the food, and it's rolling back in, and you're like, oh my God, did they? I'll be like, oh my God, did they not like the food? And like, no, JJ, they didn't have time. They were talking too much. I'm like,
Yeah, they're
all
making
this food,
million
like
sales.
all this food they just wasted.
Where were you then?
Where I was like 24, 25.
And this is after you graduated culinary
No,
school.
after I graduated culinary school, I worked at a place called Jane on West Houston Street. Well, I take that back. After I graduated culinary school, I worked at Wegmans in a management and training program outside of Pennsylvania and prepared foods. Who would ever think prepared foods would be a big thing? I hated it. I put my 2 week notice in, and the dude's like, I'm not taking your 2 weeks. You can leave today.
I think you came a
So
long
then
way.
I went to Jane.
Jane?
Then
I
I went
love
to Jane in
Jane.
its prime with the gnocchi, the French toast, the
Oh
brunch. We would do
yeah,
like
and it was a big
1100 for brunch.
too.
It was wild.
Yeah.
How long were you at Jane before you went
I
to?
went to I was at Jane for 2 years. I love Jane. I helped them open up the first Smith. We tested all
Oh
those
wow.
recipes, the tomato soup. We worked the Smith, and I still talk to Jeff Lefcourt and Brian Ellis and those guys over there. Their success is really great. Most chefs that come through New York are working in these French Michelin
Yeah.
star driven
Yeah.
restaurants. I could never work in those places. Chefs in your face, throwing stuff at you. My dad would have showed up to my workplace. He would have been, yo, why are you treating people like this? This is not right. So I kind of maneuvered my way away from that. I worked Tribeca.
Yeah, you don't need Joe Jackson as a
No, Joe
fucking.
Jack, you don't need that, right? You don't need that. There would have been a lot of Joe. It would have been like Joe Jackson. It would have been all my family showing up, like, what is going on here? Fighting
Like, we're
for
ready to go.
all the cooks. They'd have been fighting for all the cooks.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know, you're in these kitchens, and I think this is before you get to, was it Minton's?
It's-
Who's the chef, or did you have a mentor during this phase where that really shaped who you want? I mean, speaking of, you didn't want to go throw plates in people's face, and
I
who was
think
your mentor?
I worked at Tribeca Grill. That's where I did my internship at. And I think like
Okay.
watching Drew Niprion walk around the kitchen, how he treated people as the owner was very like fascinating to me. Like this guy's coming here in this big old restaurant every day and talking to his staff, and everybody
Mm,
really loves him. So
hmm
that was like the first phase of if I ever own something, I want to be like him, right? Or
hmm
I want to have that kind of characteristics. And then when I worked at Jane, Brian Ellis was the chef at that time, and he really never talked to people crazy. He said what he had to say, and people did the job. And the one thing he always put into me was like, hey, it doesn't matter what the business is or the restaurant. Like, if the food don't taste good, man, the people ain't coming back. So like you need to taste the food before it leaves the kitchen.
Right.
He instilled this thing of me like taste, 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 taste. Or if you're ever with me in a kitchen, you'll constantly see me tasting things all the time, always. And if you worked for me before, you hear me telling people to taste. And then I went to Central Vinoteca for a short stint. This is after Amberell was a chef there. Rest in peace, Amberell. She left, became Big Star Food Network. Leah Cohen was a chef, but the restaurant was on a downward hill. And I was there for 6 or 7 months watching ownership abuse a restaurant, just pouring alcohol out, drinking at the bar, taking the cash out the register, spending it on whatever they were doing. And then the restaurant collapsed. I was like, okay, I definitely don't want to do that. And I think that's
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
and I think the one thing is if you have an entrepreneur spirit, wherever you work, you should be learning what not to do. Not, you already know what works if they're doing a good job, but what are they doing that you shouldn't do if you ever open up your business in this field? And those are the things I was taking from early on, the places I worked at. Morgan Stanley kind of just gave me stability and management skills, how to manage folks, systems of operation, multiple outlets of food going out at different times before I went to Cecil. And then that becomes my claim to fame.
Was that your big moment with Cecil? Or what would you define as your big moment?
Cecil's my big moment. I mean, Dick Parsons was the main owner there, ex-CEO of Time Warner Citibank, Alexander Smalls. They were partners. They gave me a shot to run a kitchen. I never ran a kitchen before. I was just the number two. I put all my blood, sweat, tears in for them. I even gave myself an ulcer.
As people grow in their careers, they become more managerial as opposed to in the business of actually doing the activity. Would you rather be managing other chefs, or would you rather be like the stove, tossing your own stuff?
I mean, at my heart, I'm a line cook at heart, right? I'm always going to, that's where I ride and die. I always ride and die with the line cooks. But if you want to grow, you got to grow, right? You can't be on the line cooking all the time. You have to be able to train people, to be able to execute your dishes. You have to be able to spend a certain amount of time in those kitchens, and then entrust that people are going to do what you expect them to do.
And kind of like live up to your expectations. But I got to say, because I saw you at Cecil, it was so much fun. It was excellent. And you look like, I guess talk about faking it till you make it. I felt like you were always in charge and never stressed. And
I was in charge, and I wasn't. Well, let me take it back.
You were probably stressed, but you didn't show it.
I was probably stressed and didn't show it. I think that I was stressed, and what I did was I kept it in, and I then beat my body up internally, which gave myself this ulcer, trying to figure out why I had this gut issue, and luckily we figured out what it was. I think in the progression of the Cecil, and it had its ups and downs, I probably fell into this anger issue area of I had a lot of anger during end of the days of the Cecil because of just
before it went to Minton's, because then you did the Minton's.
Cecil closed, and then it was like Cecil. Then Minton's wasn't performing, so they wanted me to take over Minton's. Then the New York Times reviews Minton's. I'm like, why is Pete Wells reviewing Minton's? Like Minton's has no hype, no nothing. Like it was like I got set up. Pete Wells comes and reviews Minton's. I think it was messed up. He gives me 1 star in Minton's. It drives up some traffic. Now one kitchen is managing 2 menus coming out of one kitchen with the same line cooks. And then there was no Cecil, then it was just Minton's. And then I think I started to have these moments of anger of like, why?
Because you weren't in full control.
No, I'm not in control. This is not like I'm slitting my wrist, blood is bleeding.
Well, you're the face of the representation of that restaurant. So that must be
that's hard.
And I think a lot of that, I think a lot of people get confused of who actually owns the restaurant and who's the face of the restaurant. And chefs get beat up a lot when the restaurant doesn't do well. And they're like, oh, such and such restaurant closed. Like, no, it wasn't his restaurant or her restaurant. It's Johnny's restaurant. Go talk to him. And that's what really happened.
What was the moment where you're like, I got to do my own thing? And is that how Field Trip came about?
Yeah, I probably should have left the Cecil a little bit earlier. At that time, Mia was my fiance. I think she was my fiance. She was like, hey, you need to leave. You need to get out of here and we'll figure it out. You'll be fine. And I kind of stayed on till the wheels kind of really fell off. And I should have left. But when I left, that's when I went to Chef's Club. and I took over Chef's Club
Downtown, right?
downtown, right? And it was a huge success. So some people are like, well, maybe that's really your claim because you had a New York Times profile piece, you had all the celebrities coming through,
Yeah.
and you took a restaurant that had all the Michelin star chefs coming, and they were never able to make it this packed. And then you come through and it's packed every night, profitable restaurant.
Well, because you can vibe too, JJ. You
Yeah.
think about the music, you think about the whole experience. It's not just the food. Also, I remember when you threw a party, and this was early days, but you threw a party when you were on, what was the
Oh,
cooking
Rocco's
reality?
dinner party.
Rocco's dinner party. But that was early days. I guess I always thought you were going to sort of be in that
Oh,
world
I
because you
appreciate
were
that.
already
Thank you very
there.
much.
People knew you. I really did see it.
Do you think that you knew what you were going for, or were you just, trying to make it? Did you have this idea, path, or was it off the cuff?
I think the only time I really was super outspoken was early on in the Cecil days at a PR company. And they were like, hey, if there was one thing we could get for you, what would it be? And I was like, I want to be on Forbes 30 under 30. Everybody like looked and was like, what do you mean you want to be on Forbes 30 under 30? You just can't call somebody and be on Forbes 30 under 30. I was like, well, that's what you asked me. If there was one thing you could get me, that's what I would want to be. And it just happened to be that Vanna Lee was at Forbes and she invited Jessica Sibley, who's the CEO of Time Warner of Time Magazine now. Somebody invited them, a friend of mine or somebody that was coming to dinner invited them. And I remember they wanting to talk to the chef and like the server's like, hey, this woman wants to talk to you. She says she works at Forbes. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm talking to them and she's like, can you tell me what Afro-Asian American cooking is? And I'm telling them this and she was like, yeah, this is like really insane. I've never had these flavors before. And this is on a sketchy block and it's packed. And then they came back several times over the year. But also, Forbes wanted to see a lot of other things. Are you disrupting an industry? And I was
Right.
disrupting an industry at the time. Nobody was cooking the food of the African diaspora. Nobody was doing it in the place it was. So I was very fortunate that whoever brought them in. And I would say that was a turning point for me. A lot of things are planned, but they don't always work out the way you want to work out. I never thought I would open up a restaurant in Harlem, but I couldn't raise enough money. I never thought I would do fast casual. And I never worked in fast food before. So I didn't know. I just was like, I think this is how you do it. And this is how I will do it. And hopefully it works. And it's been working out okay so far. But I never planned. I just kind of took the pieces. A landlord calling me, hey, we would love you in our space. An investor that was like, oh, I want to invest in Harlem. And then it kind of just all kind of worked out like that.
Can you talk about how you formed Field Trip and what was the idea behind it? What happens?
What happens? You start to spend your money right away. Well, the first field trip is in a co-op building. The president of the co-op building goes, hey, we would love to have you in this building. We want to transform this block. We think it would be perfect for you. I asked all my family in Harlem, hey, what do you think about this block? What do you think about this block? They're like, oh, don't go above 116th Street. Don't go below 116th Street. All this back and forth. I'm like, but the rent deal is like really good. And I wish I would have taken like 2 doors down where the rent was like pennies. And this is why when you're building a space, you have to know a contractor to come in and pull the records for you before you start building anything, so you know what was there and what you're up against. So we take this space and we sign a lease in contingent that, and lucky my lawyer was good, in contingent that I will fulfill the lease if I'm able to have X amount of money in my bank account by X date. And they kind of be a certain level. What happened was we got to close to that level, and then the building said, hey, we'll throw in the rest to get you going, which was very nice of them. And I was like, okay, so if anything ever happens bad here, I know these guys got my back. Field Trip was supposed to open up in 2018, but what happened was we brought gas to the space, which is a nightmare. And the thing told us how many washer and dryers were in the building, and they were gas washer and dryers, like old school. So when kind of came to turn on the gas, there wasn't enough gas in the building. So we had to swap out kitchen equipment. Tao Group helped me out. Major Chef Ralph from Tao helped me out. You have to use your chef community. And what happens, it prolonged the project for about 6 months.
Oh,
So
wow.
we didn't open up until July of 2019.
Oh, boy.
And the pandemic hits.
Yeah.
So we're a project of the pandemic. Luckily, the community stuck behind us and we were able to get
They
out.
say God will only give you so much that you can handle.
Exactly. But also his wife was a nurse. There was a lot
There's
going
a lot
on.
going on, yeah. But you're right. God does know God knows what he's doing, Jay. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how we got to Field Trip. Field Trip was supposed to be a full service restaurant. The inspiration was basically looking at what Momofuku did with noodles and saying, could we do that with rice? And we've done it on the fast casual. I always says, did David Chang ever take a step back and thinking about opening up Momofuku as a noodle bar, but as fast casual versus being these sit down restaurants? Because I do think from a scalability standpoint, he could have had 200 of them by
What do I got to call 48 hours to order some fried chicken, right?
yeah. So I don't really think people reinvent the wheel. You get inspired by something within an idea that you're trying to apply it to, and then can you execute that idea? That's the most important part. I would say my superpower in business or food is I can execute something. People know if I do something, I know how to execute it, and I bring some type of value.
And also, it is. I know we're calling it fast casual, but Jason, we'll have to go next time you're in town in New York because the food does not taste fast. You know what I'm saying? It tastes amazing. I think I sent my parents there. They went more than one. I know when they like something because my dad will go multiple times, and I think they were ordering that salmon bowl on repeat. So it's good. It's
Well, that's good to
delicious.
know. You know
All
what?
right. I sent them over there because they were by Rock Center, and I was like, he's got a spot in Rock Center. I don't think you were there. And then they went back, like unannounced to me, and he's like, that rice bowl, your friend Jay, he's like, it's very good.
Rice seems to be a big component in your cuisine. Do you ever get sick of rice? How do you make rice? I mean, I have a rice cooker. I sometimes put chicken stock or chicken broth in it to flavor it. Doesn't have the same consistency. From Miami, I've been eating Cuban food since I was little. How do you make good rice?
Jason, do you wash your rice?
This is a bit.
Ooh.
Do you wash your
No,
rice?
I wash my strawberries. Am I supposed to use fucking baking soda on my rice too?
I just asked a simple question. Do you
I
wash
know you
your
can tell
rice?
that it's a thing for me.
Do you wash your rice?
I do not wash my rice
Never
because
wash your rice if you-
I don't think I know how to. So I've been switching over to what I do know how to cook, which is quinoa. But
Not
that's
the
another
same.
story.
Not the same. So first step, Jason, is you must wash your rice. Like rinse
Wash
the
your
rice
rice.
until the water runs clear, right? That's gonna take off that initial starch content. Also, rice is grown in water in a field, just like your strawberries that need to be washed. Same thing. And then what most people make mistake of when they're cooking rice is that rice doubles in size. So we all cook it in a small pot thinking because we put this a little amount of rice in the pot that it has enough room to grow. But it's going to grow double. The grain expands. So you have to have a large enough pot to cook your 2 cups of rice. You're not cooking less than 2 cups of rice. You need to start with your 2 cups of rice. And if you have a rice cooker, amazing. The rice cooker is going to help you. It's like toasting bread. You don't toast your bread in the oven anymore. You have a toaster. So the rice cooker helps you to do that. And I think what the rice cooker does, it allows you to play around with more flavors, like you're saying, using chicken broth or maybe cooking your black rice and orange juice, things of that nature. And then you got to use a finger trick. You should use your third finger, the JJ finger trick. Bring it to your first
Wait,
knuckle.
what are we? Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
this is your rice. Put the finger on top of the rice, and then bring the
Okay.
cold water to your first knuckle right here. And it
Oh,
doesn't matter that your hand is smaller or bigger. It's gonna work every
because you
time.
have baby
You're
hands.
fine. Put the top on. Put it on medium heat. Don't stir the rice. It's not pasta. Let it cook for about 22 minutes. Then add the salt. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Put the top back on. Throw it to the side for 10 minutes, and you'll have perfect.
I have
Yeah,
not been
you
to.
heard it here first. You heard it here first.
So
That
take a picture for me, Jason.
Yeah,
okay,
there we
thank you
go.
for unlocking that.
And all your Cuban friends, you live in Miami, man. All your Cuban
I
grandmas, you know,
know.
they be washing rice for you.
I know. They did not set you up for success, Jason.
No, I'm more like, okay, I'm at Sergio's, you know? Or Puerto Sago, which I do
Okay,
love.
that's good. Is there a rice dish you have that you want on the menu that you haven't done yet, or one that you really haven't cracked? Because I would imagine some are probably harder for fast cat. I always think of like the tadig, the Persian, like that
So
must be
good.
hard.
You can't do that.
The burnt yellow
No, and it's like crispy on the
yeah.
top. Oh, it's so
So
good.
good.
But
tagine,
that's
right? Or
hard.
Tagine.
tagine.
Tadig or something.
Tadig.
Yeah.
Tagine is from Morocco. I
Right.
was just in Morocco. Really delicious.
Oh,
You have a taste of success with your own, and then
There was definitely more opportunity, which is why we wanted to grow. I don't think I would have grown it as quick as I did. I probably would have waited 3 years. I do believe now that I look at growth from because of the type of investors that we have on field trip. Can it get to 100 units? Is it a 50 unit location? Can it be international? You can't grow everything, and you have to know based off your consumer where you should grow. I think that's why Kava does extremely well, is because Kava knows exactly who their consumer is.
No offense to Kava. Kava doesn't do it for me.
I was just gonna say I don't like. Well, we'll cut this
That's
out.
fine. No, you can say that. You're cool. Like, I don't like Naya. I don't think Naya's good. I think it's
Oh, that's so funny. Naya is just opening around the corner from me
they're
now.
but they're on the Kava wave. They have been able to execute at the level Kava has had. I didn't like Kava early on. I didn't like the food.
Maybe I've got to try it again. But to me, your food doesn't taste like it's been sitting there. It's like a sloppy Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the difference between my brand and everybody else's brand is that my brand is developed by a chef that actually still in the business. All these other brands, Sweet Green, Chopped, Dos Toros, Kava, you name it. They have great founders with great brand ideas, but they had to go find a chef to help them develop the concept. And then that chef has left. And a lot of brands are buying product, right? Taking it out of a case, popping it open, and putting it in a container and scooping it into your bowl. We don't do any of that at Field Trip. We literally make the pickled red onions. We make everything. So some people get nervous, Jason and Liz, when you go on a licensee deal to put in an airport and they're like, we have to make everything? Yes, you have to make everything. And I believe people want you to make everything because it is a restaurant and you should.
And you taste the difference for sure. Where are you now? Because I was trying to walk through, you're in multiple locations. I know you're in Rock Center, you're in Harlem.
We're in Rock Center, we're in Harlem, we're in the Bahamas, in the Atlantis, and we're opening in JFK Airport.
When are you coming to Miami?
I'm working on Miami. You know, I've been down to Miami a couple times.
How to get you in Miami?
Looking at a full service restaurants in Miami.
Oh,
but potentially, field trip in Miami. You know,
On a Miami location, we know some people.
Looking at Miami, I think field trip would do well there. A lot of people only will know field trip from the Bahamas. They're never going to come to Harlem. They're never going to come to Rock Center. So we're very invested in check-ins and showing up and making sure that we're doing it right. But Jason, it's hard. It's just hard between Harlem and Rockefeller Center. It's extremely hard. Did they blend the sauce right? Did you reduce it to the right amount of time?
You're even still getting the same poultry from the same farms. You know, you're an international versus,
You're right. You're right. Luckily, with the Atlantis location, all our rice comes from the same farm. We've brokered that deal. The airport will be the same way. But some people, and that's why Pat LaFreak was able to really grow, right? When Shake Shack was growing, they took Pat LaFreak with them and said, yo, I need you to figure out how to send beef across the world. You know, your beef in Abu Dhabi, right? It becomes really hard.
The logistics of that alone sounds overwhelming.
What's scary, I think, is that food doesn't stay good forever.
So kudos to you, because it's every time I'm there, always busy. I just got to say, always a line. And even when we went to the U.S. Open and you guys had a location there, always busy there.
Oh, yeah, we were in the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open was fun.
You're balancing entrepreneurship and family life. I hear you have twins. I'm a triplet, one of 3 boys. And what's that? Yeah. You thought you had it hard. What's it like raising a family as a chef? Going in late nights, how are you balancing that? And do your kids like your food?
I'll start with the balance. It's important to try to have your moment with your kids. So my moment with my kids is walking them to school every morning. And that's our moment. We get to talk, we get to bond, whatever it might be. You always see me walking my kids to school, dropping them off in the morning. But then beyond that, like how else can you connect with your kids? The way I can is through food. Now it's a lot of arguing about what's good and what isn't good, or what they should eat and what they shouldn't eat. But a lot of it is bonding through food, going to farmers markets, in the grocery store together, picking the vegetable of the week, using food to learn multiplication or addition. So those are my bonding moments with my children. Do my kids like my food? My kids will not eat an egg. My son will not eat an egg sandwich from me. It has to be from Mario at the deli. Mario makes the best egg sandwiches. There's no way around it. And my daughter the same way. has a very specific turkey sandwich. If Mario's not making her turkey sandwich, she doesn't want it. It doesn't matter if I slice the onions. It has Munster cheese, blah, blah, blah. It has to be for Mario. So there are some things that they are like true New York City kids. And I'm always
They're opinionated.
yeah, they're their own food critics that I created. But I don't know, Jason, if your mom was making 3 different meals for you and your brothers.
She wasn't making it. She was taking one to Burger King, one to Wendy's, and one to McDonald's. But she did cook. She had 3 dishes. She was great at chicken parm. She was great at steak, and she was great at taco night. That was the rotation.
Yeah, my wife gets really mad at me because for this morning for breakfast, it was raspberry oatmeal for Miles. And Taya's biggest thing is turkey bacon with maple syrup drizzled on top and strawberries. And my wife's like, you're crazy. It's not a restaurant. Why are you making 2 different
Crazy
meals?
too. Like, I can't believe you're not just cooking one thing and you're like, eat it or don't eat it, and that's it.
So for dinner, it's pretty much one thing. I've never made 2 separate meals. There's no kids meal in my house and an adults meal. The kids eat exactly what the adults eat. But my daughter, I do believe she probably will be a pescatarian because she does eat a lot of vegetables and she will want rice, cucumbers, and salad, no dressing. And
So last question before we move to Schmooze Fest. What does success look like for JJ? And what does the next year, 3 years look like?
shit.
Well, do you think this was going to be easy?
Yeah, what's next? I know you have something cooking up. I know it.
So for success, it's really hard because success is married around 2 things. A lot of success is pride, right? And we get so caught up in the pride part about what success is. This is what I want, or what people tell you success is. Success is money in the bank, beautiful home, cars, right? Or what we see success is. For me, success right now is still having a restaurant open,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Restaurants are dropping like flies right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. So to still have a restaurant open and people walking through the doors, that's success. And I've been beating up the restaurant media about this. Is like, you write about these restaurants and then you want to know why they close. But then you have these other restaurants that are really successful that you don't write about. And those people are not focused on you guys at all. They're focused on acquiring customers and getting return guests. And that's why they're successful. When you hear a restaurant open 37 years, 40 years, who you think they were just written about in the media? No, they acquired guests and they know how to get them coming back and get a referral base and spreading the word. So for me, that's success. I think on the personal end, pride for myself on the successful side will be opening a full service restaurant that has people walking through the doors and I'm able to cook the food that I want to cook in a full service space without the noise of going into partnership with somebody or this or that. And I hope that will come soon, Liz.
I'm excited for that.
But
Can we be
I'm
there
working
opening
on some,
night?
huh?
We're going to be there opening night?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Okay.
But I'm always working on some stuff. I am doing the cookout on my own now. Liz has been to tons of cookouts in Miami and in New York. But in New York City, we'll be doing the cookout October 18th. First time solo event on my own.
Hey,
Where can people buy tickets?
You can just buy tickets right off my website, chefjj.co.
That's right, Chef JJ.
Go right there, pull up.
Jason, you got to come in. We got to do it.
Okay, I got one more question.
Okay.
How do you balance all of this, family life, the restaurant, running a business, at the same time developing new recipes or experimenting with food in your own kitchen?
That's a really good question. I've come to the part of my career right now, going in 2026, that I'm so caught up in the operations of business that I don't want to be a part of operations of business. I want to be a part of cooking food and culture and keeping the dream alive. And that's what I'm moving towards.
Let's give this guy a show. David Rosengarten, who?
And that's where I'm focused on going, where I'll be able to be more of the talent so that my brain is focused on developing, because I do have a hard time now developing flavor profiles. Before,
of course, you're
I
being
can go
pulled
back
in
in
so
my
many
book in
different
my
ways.
20s, early 30s, where I've developed 300-400 flavor profiles of ideas. Now I'm doing maybe 1 or 2 a week, because my mind is so focused on something totally else that I'm not the expert at, that I'm using so much brain power to try to figure out.
Yeah.
More Chef JJ cookbook so he can make money while he's sleeping, right? That's what I said.
Yes.
I think it's time for Schmooze Fest. And I'm
do.
going to take this. This is a quick, fun, rapid-fire question to get to know a little bit more about Chef JJ. And if I say anything over the line, you can just say Skip. So here we go. What's the one spice you can't live without?
Cinnamon.
Most underrated rice dish in the world?
White rice with chicken gravy on top. Chicken sauce on top.
Okay. Sweet or savory breakfast?
Savory.
A food trend you wish would go away?
I don't pay attention to the food trends.
Okay.
Ooh, good answer.
He's a leader. Now he doesn't even pay attention to what people are following. Okay. What's your guilty pleasure snack?
Guilty pleasure snack? Oreos and milk.
Oh, classic.
Ooh. Double stuffed or regular?
Double stuffed all day.
Okay. You know that's coming, right? Okay. Most surprising thing about filming a cooking show that people don't know?
Well, the most surprising thing about filming my cooking show that people don't know is that the guests take the food in a doggy bag when they leave because it's really good. And
I love
nobody
that.
realizes that I'm actually really cooking the food. But most cooking shows, there's a whole team in the back that is cooking the food, and that person's just whipping it together.
Right. And it's like 10 different like phases of the food, right?
Say I'm like Beyonce of cooking shows. Beyonce can sing and dance. I can do a cooking show and actually cook. Like there's times
That's hard.
I'm gonna have you guys on, and you'll see me. We're cooking and
it.
clearing, and it's good.
I would love that.
Oh, I'm so down for that. Okay, first thing you do when you walk into a restaurant. The first thing.
First thing I do when I walk inside of a restaurant.
Your restaurant or any restaurant?
If my table's not ready, I'm looking for the bar.
Okay. Okay, good answer. Good answer. What song gets you hyped up in the kitchen when you're just about to attack a head of lettuce and you need to get hyped up?
Oh, what song am I getting hyped about in the kitchen? I don't know. I have so much music playing all the time. You're making me open my Spotify right now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. And we're adding whatever he's going to pick to our playlist.
I think, well, right now I'm getting hype off of Burner Boy.
Oh, I've seen him multiple times.
You weren't here. You missed the whole Met thing. I had to text you too.
I know. Where were you? You were in the boom boom
Boom,
room?
boom room. It was like old New York. I texted you. I was like, yo, Liz, it's like old New York.
God.
Here, Liz.
I know. And you don't even know how much I love Burner Boy. I missed out on that one big time.
It was
I
like
think I was in
Boozy,
Miami.
Burner. It was a lot.
All right, Burner, if you're hearing it, we look forward to having you for JJ's opening. All right, dream dinner guest, dead or alive?
For me, it's Barack Obama. Just because he loves food so much.
Yeah, he does.
Does. What's the one dish that reminds you of home?
There's a dish called aso pao, which is a soupy rice dish similar to kanji that my grandmother used to make. She would drink it out of a rice cup. It's one of my favorite dishes.
A rice cup?
Or out of a
Drink-
coffee cup. Sorry, out of a coffee
Oh,
cup.
okay.
To me, it was a rice cup. Like you see, it reminded me of home. I didn't know people
Yeah,
drink
I
coffee
like
out of
this.
there. So
I'm going to
Yeah.
drink out of my rice cup. Last one. What's your go-to takeout spot when you don't feel like cooking?
my go-to takeout spot. I actually support a lot of restaurants and I get a lot of takeout. If I'm getting takeout that's not from Field Trip, I'm getting it from my restaurant at Wonder called Bankside Seafood Chicken Spot.
Oh.
And if I'm not doing that, I think it's the best Chinese food in New York City.
Oh, boy.
Which is LaSalle dumpling. Best, not Chinatown. You got to take
Okay.
Chinatown out of it.
Okay.
The best Chinese food in New York City, not including Chinatown or Flushing, is a spot called LaSalle Dumpling House. It's 124th in Broadway.
Oh, I got to travel for these.
All right, it's time to get on that one train, Liz. I'll meet you at 72nd. All right, that was it for Schmooze Fest.
We're moving on to this or that. We'll keep it moving. Ready? Jollof rice or fried rice?
Jollof.
That was lit. Oxtail or short ribs?
Ooh, oxtail.
Cast iron or non-stick?
Cast iron.
I agree with you, except for it's so hard to. I can't figure out the cleaning. Anyway, dinner party or after party?
Well, if I'm hosting the dinner party, it automatically goes to an after party.
Yeah.
If I'm coming to your house, Liz, or Jason, I'm coming for the dinner party, but
Yeah.
I do love a good after party.
Yeah, sometimes you just
do
want to
love
save
this.
dinner
I
party.
just do love a good after party.
I just don't know how much I can eat during the dinner party if I'm attending.
there's gotta
the
be an after party.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
know.
better eat enough because you know we drinking.
Okay, rice and peas or dirty rice?
Rice and peas.
5-star Yelp review or Michelin star?
Ooh, 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 ooh. Goodness gracious! See, that's the pride. That's the pride. I never,
Don't let that ego get to you, Chef
I never had a
JJ.
Michelin star before. I would love to get one.
Let's get you a
All
Michelin.
right, Michelin man, do you hear us? Bring your tires over to JJ.
Bring it through. Okay, sneakers in the kitchen or Crocs with confidence?
I do love sneakers in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
but I do rock Birkenstocks.
Oh, you do wear Birkenstocks. Okay.
With socks?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen that look on you. Icy rum punch or ginger lime beer?
Spicy rum punch.
Wait, are you also wearing those funky pants that every chef wears?
No, come on, man. Tailored.
Which one's the
Tailored
life?
pants. Tailored pants.
Anytime I see it, looks like they borrowed my dad's Zuba pants
No,
from the
tailored
Dolphin.
pants. Tailored pants all day.
Yeah, you're always dressed. Okay.
Tailored
Hot
pants.
sauce or soy sauce?
That's hard. I love soy sauce and I love hot sauce, but I do like the umaminess. I'll go soy.
A couple more. Food truck or fine dining?
Food truck.
Cookbook or cooking show?
Cooking show.
Mm-mm. Okay, last one. Sunday brunch or late night bite?
Sunday brunch. It's always a two.
What's the brunch order? Eggs, or are we
The
talking
first
pancakes?
thing I'm ordering is a mimosa. Then after that, we can look at the menus. Brunch.
Oh, mimosa.
Brunch,
Liz, we were
Jason, it's
talking
brunch,
about
man.
But I'm Bloody Mary. I
That's
think
cool. You get your Bloody Mary. I'm getting
a sativa for brunch. You know?
sativa.
Okay, now it's time for Nosh of the Day, which this is a really exciting Nosh of the Day with Chef JJ.
Yes.
Chef JJ, Nosh of the Day is a quick segment where we discuss our recent favorite restaurants, recipes, or where we want to go next. My Nosh of the Day would be field trip if I had the opportunity to go. First, my Nosh of the Day goes to Golden Hog on Key Biscayne. It is an upscale grocery store that has a paella in it. They cook. They have specialty ingredients from Italy, from South America. They have those Argentine crackers and thumbprint type of cookies that everyone likes.
Okay.
So it's a go-to for me.
Okay.
Liz, you're up.
My Nosh of the Day, I just went there again. I love it. It's on the rotation. Sesame Bakery. It's by me in Aventura. First of all, they've got brunch, eggs, all of that stuff. But then they have these amazing pastries, savory and sweet, with labna, Middle Eastern flavors.
Was that a bareka that I saw?
They had cheese barekas. They had shakshuka barekas. I mean, it's...
Chef JJ's turn. What is Chef JJ's Nosh of the Day?
My Nosh of the Day is Sam's Famous Pizzas in East Harlem on 116th Street. Has been there forever. I think it doesn't get any street credit from the pizza gods. When you come out 116th Street, you can smell the beautiful pizza, the cheese melting. It's my go-to spot when I'm in East Harlem, and I think they should get a Nosh.
And how's their undercarriage and flop?
Your bagel order. We're New Yorkers. Is it scooped? Is it toasted?
So, what is scooped?
Exactly. Thank you. That's the only acceptable answer, really.
What is scooped?
They're scooping out the bread.
Out the dough, so you get like this nice nook and cranny. A bagel meets an English muffin.
That's called like a flat flakel, right? Like they do in the Hamptons.
I don't even know what it's called, but all right.
Not a bialy, though.
But my go-to bagel is a poppy seed bagel toasted with cream cheese and lox. And I don't really like salmon, but I do believe that lox on a bagel with cream cheese and poppy seed is truly delicious.
Ooh. And
here we go. Our last segment of the day is Mitzvah of the Day, a moment where we take a break from the hustle and spotlight everyday acts of kindness. Today's mitzvah is going to be to make sure that you take home leftovers and you give them to somebody on the street who is less fortunate than you. Thank you, Chef JJ, for joining us. That is it for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And Liz, Chef JJ, please read us out.
all right, everybody, the hustle is real.
And the smear is extra.